Let's talk about Alien Earth Episode 5, titled In Space, No One... And right away, that name should have horror and sci-fi fans buzzing, because it directly calls back to the tagline of Ridley Scott's original 1979 Alien, In Space, No One Can Hear You Scream. But here's the thing, this episode doesn't just lean on nostalgia. Instead, it delivers one of the darkest, most important pieces of the story so far. It pulls us back to the doomed Maginot and finally answers the burning question, what really happened before that catastrophic crash into Earth? Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master. The entire structure of the episode is different from the rest of the season. We're thrown back in time, watching the lead up to the destruction that literally set this series in motion. And the more we see, the more it becomes clear this wasn't just an accident, and it wasn't just the aliens escaping. There was sabotage. There was betrayal, and the villain pulling strings behind the curtain is even more sinister than we thought. So let's break it all down. The sabotage, the crew's desperate fight for survival, the shocking reveals about Morrow's past, and what the ending means for Boy Kavalier, Prodigy, and Weyland-Yutani going forward.
They bleed acid.
Clem said there was a fire.
The Maginot before the fall. The episode begins with a chilling timestamp, 17 days from Earth. That immediately tells us we're back in the past, before the Maginot became a burning meteor crashing into Prodigy City. Morrow is jolted awake by Clem because chaos has already broken out. There's a fire on the ship, and 2 alien specimens are loose, including that unnerving eyeball creature, the Trypanohyncha Ocellus. To make things worse, 2 crew members have already been attacked, and the captain is dead. When Morrow adds to the medbay, the nightmare becomes clear. 2 unconscious crew members lie on tables, facehuggers latched onto their heads. It's the sight every alien fan dreads, the classic, stomach-turning first step to a chest-burster. Worse, the captain was killed when Rahim tried to cut off a facehugger, only to have its acidic blood burn straight through his neck. At this point, Morrow starts asking questions. Why were the alien eggs unsealed? Who started the fire? But nobody has answers. And that's where suspicion starts creeping in. This wasn't an accident. Somebody sabotaged them. The crew quickly realizes how dire things are. Bronsky, still with a facehugger attached, is placed into stasis. The fire has destroyed the Maginot's navigational systems, meaning the ship isn't a spaceship anymore. It's a missile, and it's aimed directly at Earth. Zaveri, Yutani, and the cargo. This episode also digs into one of the most fascinating dynamics, who's really in charge. Zaveri, who had been involved with Bronsky against company protocol, tries to assert herself as captain. She goes to Mother, the ship's AI, and is confirmed as the new commanding officer. But when she requests permission to destroy the cargo if it becomes a threat, Mother shuts her down. The response is clear and chilling. The cargo is priority number 1. And if you've been following the alien mythos for decades, you know what that means. It doesn't matter how many people die, how much damage is done, or how impossible the situation is, Weyland-Yutani has always wanted the alien specimens alive. The crew in crisis. Morrow, meanwhile, goes down to inspect the containment decks. He finds damage left behind by the escaped creatures and watches security footage of the fire and facehugger attack. But he notices something strange. There's someone else in the footage, someone he can't identify. The pieces of the puzzle are starting to come together. We also see Morrow reading letters from his daughter back on Earth. This is the moment the series humanizes him more than ever. Up until now, he's been cold, machine-like, almost more cyborg than man. But we learned that his daughter died in a fire 12 years into the mission. Suddenly, his stoicism makes sense. It's grief buried beneath layers of steel and duty. But sentimentality doesn't stop the horror from spreading. The ship's fuel is almost gone. They're less than 24 hours from crashing, and they realize the only way to survive is to wake the rest of the crew. But before that happens, disaster strikes again. Bronsky's chest has exploded. His cryopod has shattered as a chest-burster escaped. Now there's a xenomorph running loose on the ship. Morrow arms the crew with special electrical weapons, designed to stun the creature without spilling its acid blood. But it's already too late. Chaos spreads faster than they can contain it. The specimens show their true nature. One of the most disturbing parts of this episode takes place in the lab. Chibuzu, the ship's scientist, is studying the alien specimens. The eyeball creature, the Ocellus, seems to be watching her with intelligence, pounding against its glass container. At the same time, a smaller leech-like alien escapes, spreading larvae into her water bottle. But in a cruel twist of fate, it isn't Chibuzu who drinks from it, it's Malachite. Later, while working on repairs, he vomits blood and collapses. When the doctors operate, they discover his insides crawling with parasitic ticks. Trying to remove them releases a toxic gas that kills Rahim and Chibuzu instantly. It's a horrifying, grisly sequence, and it drives home just how many different types of organisms Weyland-Yutani has been experimenting with. At the same time, the eyeball creature manages to break free entirely. This thing isn't just a specimen. It's cunning, it's manipulative, and it's capable of controlling hosts. When Shmuel later gets possessed by it, we realize just how dangerous it is, not just physically, but mentally.
Prodigy, as in the boy wonder. Me.
The saboteur revealed. While all this is happening, Morrow digs deeper into the mystery. He and Tang develop a theory. Someone in cryosleep isn't really asleep. Someone's been awake this whole time, hiding, sabotaging the ship. Morrow combs through the crew's recorded messages to their families and makes a chilling discovery. Petrovich, the ship's chief engineer, has been secretly communicating with none other than Boy Kavalier. Petrovich is the saboteur. He struck a deal with Kavalier, promising to deliver the alien specimens directly to Prodigy's territory by crashing the Maginot into Earth. In return, he wanted wealth, power, and even a new synthetic body, one of the most grotesque and selfish betrayals imaginable. This reveal reframes everything we've seen so far. The Maginot's destruction wasn't a tragic accident. It was premeditated. Thousands of lives were sacrificed in Prodigy City just so Boy Kavalier could get his hands on the aliens.
They're monsters. Here they come.
Morrow versus Petrovich. Morrow confronts Petrovich in one of the episode's tensest moments. Petrovich shoots and kills Chen, but he's no match for Morrow. With his cyborg enhancements, Morrow drives a blade straight through Petrovich's back. Before dying, Petrovich delivers a final warning. You can't stop what's coming. They want their monsters. It's an ominous line that confirms the worst. Weyland-Yutani wants the aliens. Boy Kavalier wants the aliens. Everyone in power wants the monsters, no matter how many lives it costs. The Xenomorph chase and Zaveri's death. And then comes the centerpiece of the episode, one of the best Xenomorph chase sequences we've seen in years. Zaveri finds herself pursued by a fully grown Xenomorph sprinting through the halls of the Maginot. She seals herself in a room with Shmuel, but it's the worst possible decision, because Shmuel is no longer Shmuel. The eyeball creature is controlling him. His eye bulges grotesquely before he lunges at her, and the two become trapped in a deadly confrontation. Meanwhile, Morrow faces a brutal choice. As Zaveri bangs on the control room door, begging to be let in, he doesn't open it. In fact, he seals it shut, leaving her to die at the Xenomorph's claws. It's a shocking moment, but it also explains what we already saw back in episode 1. Zaveri's death has always been part of this timeline. What we didn't know until now was that Morrow made the cold, calculated decision to leave her behind. Why? Because he had one mission: contain the specimens, and because, in his mind, there was no room for both of them in the impact chamber. Saving Zaveri would have been pointless. It's brutal, it's tragic, but it's very much in line with the heartless logic of Weyland-Yutani operatives across the franchise.
No other survivors?
All dead before we hit the ground.
Back on Earth, Morrow's next mission. After the Maginot crashes, the episode jumps forward to where we left off in episode 1. Morrow meets with Yutani on Earth. He tells her the crew is dead, but the cargo survived, and he makes a chilling vow. He will recover the specimens and personally kill Boy Kavalier. Yutani suggests lawyers, diplomacy, the usual corporate approach. But Morrow insists this is personal, and in a rare moment of corporate loyalty, she agrees. Whatever he wants, he gets.
Whatever he wants, he gets.
Ending explained. So what does this all actually mean? Episode 5 is kind of like a prequel tucked inside the season, showing us the full truth of what really went down on the Maginot. And there's some huge takeaways here. First off, the big reveal. Petrovich was the saboteur all along. He wasn't just some frustrated engineer. He made a secret deal with Boy Kavalier to crash the Maginot straight into Prodigy City. Why? So that all those alien specimens would land exactly where Kavalier wanted them. That's the level of betrayal we're dealing with here. Then there's Morrow's backstory. For the first time, we see why he's so cold and distant. His daughter died in a house fire while he was away on this mission. That explains everything about why he throws himself so completely into duty. Because, in his mind, it's all he has left. And let's not forget Zaveri's death. This one stings. We now know that it wasn't just bad luck or timing. Morrow actively chose not to save her. He sealed that door shut, leaving her to die, because in his eyes, the mission and the cargo came first. That's loyalty to Yutani taken to its most brutal extreme. Another big point, this show isn't just about xenomorphs. Episode 5 confirms there are whole new species of monsters. Parasitic leeches, deadly ticks, and the Ocellus, that freaky eyeball creature that can actually control human hosts. The universe just got way scarier. And finally, the setup for what's coming next. Morrow isn't just following orders anymore. He's made it personal. He flat out says he's going to kill Boy Kavalier. That means we're heading straight into a huge showdown, Weyland-Yutani versus Prodigy, with Morrow right in the middle of it. Our nerdy thoughts. Alien Earth Episode 5 might be the strongest entry in the series so far. Not only does it give us classic alien horror, facehuggers, chestbursters, and xenomorph hunts, but it also adds layers of intrigue, betrayal, and corporate greed. Petrovich's deal with Boy Kavalier is pure Alien franchise DNA, reminding us that the biggest monsters aren't just the creatures, they're the humans willing to unleash them. Morrow, once cold and robotic, is now more human than ever, but also more dangerous. He's motivated by grief, vengeance, and a sense of loyalty to Yutani that makes him unpredictable. If the first half of the season showed us what the aliens can do, this episode shows us what the people behind them can do. And that's scarier than anything.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.